I'm Lynn Bridgeford from the Aether Bias Clinic and Aether Bias Yoga, and today's quick and easy series on workouts is going to be a shred workout for the arms. We're going to be doing some strength work, taking different movements. We'll be doing HIIT, high intensity interval training, so low intensity, getting the heart rate up, getting that building of the heart rate to burn fat, and the strength to give the shredded muscles. So grab a weight, a bottle of water, perhaps a belt, and join me in a minute. You can either start doing some heavier weights to do strength. We're going to do the deltoid with the arms straight or the arms bent. If you want to use something other than a weight, we can do a resistance exercise. So we can use the opposite arm. This arm's pushing down, this arm's pushing up. We're working the same muscle. Push, push, push and release, working that deltoid. And on the other side, and push and release, and push and release. Taking a smaller weight, get your form, either a straight arm or a bent arm. We're working that deltoid muscle, so we're going to go at speed, keep the core working, keep that deltoid working, getting that heart rate up. This is the part of the high intensity where we take about 20 seconds. Slow down if you need to, and then we take the lower intensity, checking the form, still feeling the work in the muscle. Going back to a bigger weight if it works for you to do the strength work, or you can do the resistance with one hand against the other. Using the heavier weight, we're going to be using the biceps, so keeping the elbows tucked into the side, working the biceps. You can either have the weight pointing downwards or up. It depends whether your weight is a can of beans or whether you're doing resistance work. Get that strength work into those biceps, and we're resisting a little going down as well. Taking the speed for the biceps, getting that high intensity. Go at the pace that works for you. You may go faster than me, you may go slower. You want to get a little breathless, and keep the core working, legs nice and strong to stabilize you, keeping the neck in neutral and working those biceps. And then we're slowing down, get the form, let the heart rate return to normal, and catch your breath. And back to the heavier weight. Or if you want to do resistance, you can use one arm pressing down to resist. You'll also be working the tricep on the opposite arm. Keep that push and resist, and the other side, push and resist, push and resist, push and resist, push and resist. We're going to work the infraspinatus, so taking the arm back slowly with the resistance, keep the core stable. Some muscle across the top of the shoulder blade. Only go as far as you can. If you have shoulder issues, take good care with this. To do it with the resistance, bring your arm as pretty much as parallel to the floor, the upper arm. Push and resist and release, push and resist and release. And the other side, push back and release. When you have awareness in the muscles, you'll feel it working across the top of the shoulder blade. And going to the hip part, keeping the arms in a good alignment. They may not be exactly even. We're human beings, we're not robots. We still want to keep a good form. It may help you to stabilize your core if you bend your knees a little. Just see what works for you. Getting a high intensity working in that muscle. We don't want to tire it, we just want to work it and get the heart rate going. And then we're slowing down, bent knees or straight knees, whichever works for you. Feel that movement across the top of the shoulder blade. Going back to the strength. The strength is slightly different than the low intensity because we're having more weight or we're doing it with resistance. And we're really focusing on the strength part that is part of shred. Similar movement but with the arms down. We're going to push back with the hands. We're aiming to have the upper arms parallel to the floor. This is the subscapularis muscle. It's underneath the shoulder blade, And it has a lot to do with the frozen shoulder, and it's a muscle that often gets tight if we've fallen. So it relates to the thorax and through to the sternum. So getting that pressure with the weight, getting the strength. You can do it with resistance, with the opposite arm pushing against it, and then we're getting a double workout with the other arm, keeping a good form. And going for the speed, we're going for the high intensity. We don't have to go that far up, just come up to shoulder height and then down. And again, you can bend the knees if you like. If you want a little bit of extra fat burning and heart rate, you can bend and stretch the knees to keep that movement going, making sure that your shoulders are okay and that your neck's okay. And slowing down. Get the form, get your breath, let the heart rate come down. And getting the strength again, we can also do it alternating. A little bit more challenge on the core, bent knees or straight knees. Feel the work under the shoulder blade. It's not always the easiest one to contact. In time you will feel it. The supraspinatus comes up to about 45 degrees. It's a little muscle at the top of the arm, and it can get broken if you fall on it, or it can get trapped between the clavicle at the front and the shoulder at the back. So keep your core, feel the strength. Again, you can do it with resistance, pushing against the arm and resisting and releasing, like an isometric strength exercise. And the other side. And going for the high intensity, you can do both at once. Again, you can bend the knees and straighten them, or you can do one and the other. If your core's strong enough, keep that heart rate going, give a little bit more by bending and stretching, or stay where you are, or just bend the knees a little. And then slowing down for the lower intensity. And resistance this time for the strength. Feel the muscle up here working, and the other side. Taking straight arm up and back, we're feeling the strength in the anterior serratus, the side of the shoulder blade, and then we're going to combine that with the triceps, back of the arm. They're almost continuous with each other. We're going to do one and then the other. So arms going back, keep the spine nice and straight. And then feel the strength in the triceps. And then going at speed. This one is good to bend the legs or bend and stretch. Really need to keep the core and make sure that your shoulders are fine. If you have any issues that prevent you from doing this, you might be a little further forwards. Keep the good form, keep the pace. And then slowing down, going for the low intensity. And then we're going for the higher intensity with the triceps. Again, you can bend the knees, or if you want more cardio, you can bend and stretch. And taking the lower intensity, check your form. You can still bend if you want to. Sometimes it helps the stability through the body. Taking some more integrated movements now. We're going to get a lot of muscles working together. Again, we can bend and stretch, so bend to keep that support. We're getting a lot of muscle groups working here. It's a bit like an extended movement, almost like we do with walking, but going across to the side. Feel the strength. At speed, with or without a bend, keeping your midline connected, keep your core strong, so you're working around many muscles, connecting to the upper arm, the lower arm, and connecting through to the front and the back of the arm. And slowing down, get that low intensity, get the heart rate down. Feel the muscles, many muscles working. And going back to the strength. Bend the legs if you need to. Get the strength as well as the heart rate. When you're lifting something a bit heavier, as long as it's something you can cope with, that will also get the heart rate up. So another complex movement is an exaggerated movement of walking. So we're using many muscles throughout the arms and feeling the strength of whatever size weight works for you. And taking that at pace. It's like having a very energetic walk on the spot without moving the legs. We're doing the arms, and it helps to bend a little to keep that strength in the spine. Get that heart rate up, get that fat burning, snatch the mitochondria from the dying cells into the living ones. Keep that energy going and take the low intensity, recover your breath, let the heart rate slow down. And going back to the strength, feel the strength. It'll feel a little different doing it afterwards than it was before doing the HIIT. A little more focused. A complex movement with the arms lifted up. If you were doing both together, would be like that, or we're going one across and then the other, working through the arms, and it's going to go into the upper back and the chest as well, keeping the knees a little bent, using the core for the strength. And going faster. There's a challenge on the core, or you can do it both out and in, or a little bit of extra challenge going across the body. It's like a way we wouldn't use our arms when we're walking, but we can keep that impetus all the way through the arms, pretty much parallel to the floor. Keep that speed going, get the heart rate going, and then coming into the lower intensity. Lowering the heart rate, catching your breath, and going back to the strength. Find the weight that works for you. It may not be the same one on all exercises. Coming on all fours to do a modified press up. So we're taking the strength first by taking it really slowly. Push the floor away, tuck the elbows in, and push the floor away. We need to keep a strong core, so we're working all the way through the arms. And then we're going into the high intensity bit, so keep that strength, keep the focus. And the low intensity, check your form. It's the movement without too much strength. And then we're going to the strength part, so we're putting more pressure through the arms, more focus, pushing the floor away, working all the way through the arm. Bringing the arm across, taking the other hand behind, stretching through the back of the arm, breathing into it. And the other side. You might find that one side feels different to the other. Interlink the hands behind you, reach back and down, opening the heart. Keep the floating ribs tucking down as much as you can. If you want to look up, if it's comfortable, you can. Otherwise, keep the head straight and breathe into it, stretching across the front of the arms. If you want to and it's comfortable, you can bring your arms up behind you. Reaching the arm up and behind your back, take the other hand on the elbow and draw it towards the head. Doesn't matter if you don't go all the way. Stretching through the triceps. When we stretch, we relax. Changing sides. The underneath arm is the one being stretched, so that's relaxing, the opposite one is working. Bring both arms up, cross one over. If you can join the hands, do. And if you can lift up, keep it where it's comfortable, keep your neck in neutral, good stretch all the way through the upper arms. And release other arm over, take the hands together if you can, if not just leave them back to back and reach up, getting a good stretch through the arms. Reaching the arms up, stretching right to the fingertips, reach them out to the side, bring them down, have a good wiggle and just let your body and your arms relax. Let any tension just disappear. That's just a few quick and easy exercises, strength combined with HIIT for the arms. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, like, write in the comments below, and go across to my other channels. I have Instagram, Lynn Bridgeford. I have Facebook channels for the clinic, for the yoga, and interact with me on all the channels, and I would be happy to connect with you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much.